I was out in the garden this morning, as you are, and I spoke to my neighbours, Pat and Liz, and we were talking about the fact that they'd been to the Voyage. Is it Voyage? It's this show that the Abba team have put together with their virtual avatars, I think that you call them, and they were saying how blooming brilliant it is. And they said you feel as though the young Abba are there in the room with you. It's on my bucket list at the moment to go and see, and I'm determined to see it this year, this year. But I was thinking of all the opportunities now there will be for all of these stars that are either, are no longer with us because they passed, or the fact that, as they're getting older, they can't do the same amount of concerts. So you think about it, they must have made a packet. I know they made this venue specifically for this set of shows, but it's been going now for at least, I think, 3 years? And I think, I don't know for sure, but I get the impression that people are going to see it every night it's on, yeah? So you have the overheads of the theatre, and then you've got to pay back the whole, building you put together for this. But after 3 years, if you've got no other overheads, okay, obviously you've got the royalties that go into the band. I think it's probably paid itself back by now. So everything they doing in the future will keep this going, and they can keep this going indefinitely, and they can play. There's no limit to how many times they're playing in the week. It's not like, they're going to suddenly run out of breath, or, like a bit like Elvis Presley dying the toilet because, he was playing every 5 or 6 days a week because Colonel Parker told him to pay off his gambling debts. This is what I've heard. So they just keep on going, right, and keep on churning the money. Well, imagine Elvis Presley's going to obviously make a comeback, and I think someone told me the other day that show is going to happen. You can just, if I was a big pop star, which I'm surprised I'm not, I would be selling the rights, all my rights, to these guys for millions and millions of pounds, because I would probably be worth that much, to be honest, probably up in the league. Had I learnt to play the guitar properly, I'd have been up there with Abba and that lot. I'd sell the whole rights, because you don't make anything off your music anymore. And all of a sudden you get, I think like Bowie did, 300 million or something for all of the rights of his music. I don't think they would have got half of that back, the family, had they kept on to the rights. And his legacy will be forevermore, because he'll, this avatar of Bowie, or whoever it is, Jackson, or as we were talking, maybe even the Beatles will come along eventually at some point. That's just, it's incredible. I mean, it's great for us as well that we get to see these bands in the future based on their peak, based on them being young, right? Because there's only so long that they can go. I mean, I saw The Who a couple of years ago. They are playing 1 or 2 gigs now. Unsurprisingly, they're in their 80s. And then it'll turn, that technology, I'm sure that technology will be like, I might be giving away a copyright of something here that I could have made a fortune from. But I think the other thing that will happen is you'll meet your relatives from the past as an avatar. The technology will be so standardized in the next 10, 15, 20 years, who knows? Yeah, you'll be able to go into a room and meet your dad, or your mum, or your granddad, or your grandma. You might not want to, but there'll be a lot of people who will. Trust me.